Hello and welcome. Today I'll be guiding you through a 40-ish minute chair yoga practice using props. A lot of times when I teach a chair yoga class, I just teach with just a chair, nothing else. It keeps it really simple, but props can be a lovely way to support your practice. For practice today, you want a couple of yoga blocks, a bolster, a strap, or a yoga belt or a big scarf, and a blanket. So a blanket or towel, you can make a softer seat and bring your feet up on blocks about hip distance apart so that the knees are right above the ankles. See how that feels. Sit back in the chair. Allow yourself to feel supported. We'll tune into the energy of balance. Notice the building that you're in, how it's anchored and tethered to earth with gravity through its foundation. Feel the room and sense into the room where you are. Notice and acknowledge the floor. And feel how the chair is grounded and anchored with gravity to the floor. Feel your feet connected to the earth. Feel the base of the body connected and rooted. Allow the hands to rest on the thighs. You might even stack one hand within the other. And then stack the head over the rest of your shape, lining head with shoulders, with hips. Feel the movement of the breath in and out. With every exhale, allow some softening to happen in any place where you're feeling tension or holding. The shoulders or the jaw. You might hold a little bit of tension at the fronts of the thighs, at the hip crease, that hip flexor area. Let that go. And notice your thoughts out there swirling around when they're swirling, and invite them back into your body. Feeling one stacked hand on top of the other. Feeling the weight of your hands resting on the legs. Feel the foundation of your body resting on the chair. And the four legs of your chair supported by the ground beneath you. Take another couple of breaths here. And just for a moment, scan for any places in the body that are calling for your attention. Any places of tenderness, aches or pains, tiredness. Just acknowledging them in your mind's eye can sometimes bring a bit of relief. Sometimes we power through. Just pausing and noticing what is. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then bring the hands to the fronts of the kneecaps and inch your way forward, one little sitting bone at a time. If you need to kick the blocks a couple inches further forward, that might be good. So we're bringing our sitting bones right to the very edge of the chair. We'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So we're going for a little pelvic tilt, so rocking the hip points forward, sitting bones back, tailbone back, heart lifts, shoulders roll back. And as you exhale, pull the fingertips into the kneecaps, letting the elbows go wide. So we're engaging through the core, spreading through the shoulder blades. Breathing in, press through the feet. Pull the elbows in toward the midline, back toward the body. Lift the heart. And exhaling, tucking the chin, rolling through the spine. Every vertebra moving here. And this engagement of hands to knees activates some of the muscles in the front and back body for stability, for length. So we're not compressing the vertebra in this forward bend and back bend. One more breath in and out. And then inhaling, find stillness. Let the hands rest on the thighs. Turn the palms to face the sky. And notice your balance here, how it takes just a little bit of effort to keep you upright. Notice the sitting bones, the foundation of your body, your core muscles. And then ever so gently draw the head and neck back in space. Notice how you come into the back of the pelvis just a little bit. And then exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Let the left shoulder drop down. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let the head tip forward, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear up and over to left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Then inhale, gazing forward. And take a deep exhale. Take a breath in. Draw the head back in space. A little nod of the chin works well. And then right ear to right shoulder. And then if it feels okay, let the left shoulder drop down. Let the left arm and hand hang heavy. Roll the head of that arm bone back. Turn the palm to face away. Let's take 2 breaths. Draw the low ribs down if it feels like you're coming into a back bend. And then bring the hand back, gaze down. And then lift the chin, lift the gaze. Left ear to left shoulder, a little bit of a tuck of the chin. You might drop the right hands. Let the arm bone be heavy. Maybe turn the palm to face out. Notice how that changes things. A breath in and a breath out. Bring the hand back. Let the head return back. Turn both palms to face the ground. Pressing down into the thighs. Tucking the chin. And notice what happens when you press the palms down into the thighs as you come into this neck stretch. And then release that engagement of the hands into the thighs. So we just activate and engage some of those back body muscles, that little effort, and then gaze forward, roll the shoulders a couple times. Nice. And then we'll get rid of the blocks and we'll come into a forward fold. And so we'll use the bolster. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll hinge at the hips. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, come down onto the forearms, and then adjust the bolster so that you can bring the forehead to rest right on the bolster. Let the tailbone scoop back rather than tucking under. The hands might rest down. If that's too much weight on the neck, you might cross the forearms and rest the head there. Just a couple breaths. Just a gentle forward fold. And then press down through the hands, press down through the feet, engage the belly, and come on up. Set the bolster aside. And then we'll come into a side angle pose and get that out of here. And take your socks off if your feet are warm enough. So a side angle pose is a side bend stretch where we're getting some trunk rotation and a little bit of external rotation through the thigh bones. So sit comfortably wide, neutral pelvis, so pubic bone in line with hip points, and draw the waistline back to find that nice strong core engagement. And then we'll extend the left leg, kneecap pointing straight up toward the sky. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll bring right forearm to right thigh, creating a right angle, palm facing up. And then left hand to left ribs. And notice if your head has dropped forward, bring the earlobes in line with the shoulders and use the left hand to rotate the ribs. So you're opening the ribs a little bit to the left. Bring the head back in line. And then if you'd like, you can do fingertips to shoulder. Maybe look up or look forward or even look down. See if you can create that long stretch through the side body. If your shoulder feels good, you might reach the arms straight up, sending some energy and some weight down through the left hip. Sometimes it wants to pop up. And then if you'd like, extend forward, turning it into extended side angle, bringing the triceps by the temple, opening up the heart a little bit more. And stay lifted in this right side body. Try not to collapse into the right shoulder. To come up, we'll sweep the left hand down like you're pressing through water, coming up. Bring that left leg in. Take a moment to notice. Tuning into those sensations as they dissipate in the side body, through the shoulder, through the neck. And then we'll go to the other side. So right leg extends, and it's not straight, it's not locked, it's a little bit of a bend to create some asymmetry here. So we're externally rotating. So we're bringing the thighs out. And so let's see. So sitting up nice and tall, waistline back, and then forearm to thigh, palm facing the sky. Right hand to right ribs, rotate. Check in with the line of the head, ears in line with the shoulders. See what direction you want to look. And we're really pulling the side body up. So if you feel like you're collapsing, reset, rotate, and then create the side stretch. If it feels like your right side is floating, anchor down. So pressing through the right foot, right thigh, maybe right hand reaches up. Maybe you extend your side angle, triceps by the temple. Breathing, side bending, strong through the core, open through the heart. And then to come up, we root down through the left arm, sweep down with the right arm, and come up, walk the legs in, tick-tock side to side. And let's take 3 breaths. Notice what you feel. And then we'll try that same shape with blocks. So we'll go wide with the legs once again, and we'll bring the block just to the inside of the right foot. Left leg extends. So rooting down, waistline back, getting nice and tall here. Feel your foundation. And then instead of forearm to thigh, we're going to rotate through the torso first. Begin to resist gravity. So as you soften down, bring that block right beneath the shoulder, rotating, drawing the low ribs in if they're flaring, and almost leaning back into the shape. It's easy to rock forward into the front plane. And here we're opening into our side body. Maybe you extend your side angle. If you'd like a wider expression, here's a nice place to walk that left foot and leg a little wider. And sometimes there's not as much benefit if you're just collapsing into this supporting arm. So maybe fingertips so that you're still using some core engagement, almost like a side plank. And then inhale coming up. And just because it's, easy to do here, let's come into the reverse, tipping over, reaching up, and then coming back through center. And we'll switch sides. So aligning block, you can also do the block on the outside of the foot, finding that wider stance to begin with. If you'd like, take a breath in and then rotate first, resist gravity. So right sitting bones root down, feel for the block, rotate, reach up, and see where you want the block to land. If you want it right beneath the shoulder, it feels to me like that's kind of hyperextending my elbow a little bit. I'm just going to bring it more forward, use fingertips, and then maybe extend, maybe open wider with that right leg, getting that deeper rotation, maybe a little bit of pressure of the left inner thigh to the left outer arm. And then inhale, come up, sweep up, find that counter stretch, forearm to thigh, reach up, or hand to leg. I like forearm to thigh better for just a breath. And then coming up, keep the legs wide. We'll go one breath, one movement. And then we'll add in some arms. So breathing in, sweep out and up. Breathing out, hands to heart, rotate, turning to the left. Breathing in, reach for the block. Reach up with the left arm. Breathing out, extend. Breathing in, come all the way back up, reach both arms up. Breathing out, soften, hands to heart. Breathing in, extend right leg, sweeping out and up. And then exhale, reach for the block. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sink heavily through the right side. Inhale, coming up, both arms reach up. And then let's go right in to another one. Exhale, dropping to the side, left arm reaches up, left leg reaches out. Exhale to extend, spiraling the heart open. Inhaling, both arms reaching up. And exhaling, dropping down. Inhale to reach. And exhale to extend. Inhale, coming back up. And since we're here, let's come into goddess pose. Rooting down through the thighs, rooting down through the feet. Elbows hug back, ribs hug back. Crown of the head lifts, keep pressing down, opening through the inner thighs. Feel that little shake. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hands to the thighs. Walk the legs forward a little bit. Turn the fingers to face inward. Drop one shoulder. Gaze over the other. Back through center. And sink it down. Back through center. And drop it down. And come back through center. Heel toe the feet in. Tick-tock side to side. And then come to standing. And so from here, we'll place one block on its lowest setting on the chair. And it can go vertical or sideways, just on the seat of the chair for a little bit later. And this other block can just get out of the way. So standing in our mountain pose, palms shining forward, Rolling the heart open, soften the low ribs, soften the knees, soften the glutes. Let's take 3 breaths, feeling your balance. And then breathing in, hands to heart. Breathing out, hands to the chair. Step back a little bit. We're going to come into plank and then a side plank. So you'll step back enough and you may need to adjust how the block is on the chair. If it feels like you can comfortably place the hand right there, that's great. You can bring the block on a higher setting too. Just want to make sure it's not going to wobble around. We'll do a side plank here. You can use the heel of the palm on the chair too. All right, so stepping a little bit away from the chair in your plank pose. Breath in, and then we'll spiral the toes to the left. And then bring hand to block. Bring left hand to left hip. Stack the feet or send one in front of the other. And check to see that you're in a nice line. Reaching up, lifting up with the sideways, maybe arcing up and over, finding your balance, lifting the hip away from the ground. Deep breath in and deep breath out. To come out, we'll bring hand to hip. We'll slowly turn the toes to face forward, and then we'll switch sides. So hand to block, spiral the feet, align the hip. You may need to inch over or forward or back a little bit. Check to see that the wrist is a little bit ahead of the shoulder rather than shoulder way over wrist. You can even scooch it out a little bit. Reaching up and maybe reaching over. Lifting through the side body. Stacking the feet or one in front of the other. Sternum kind of vertical here. Breath in. And then as you exhale, turn the toes back to the chair. Bring both hands to the block and then transfer both hands to the chair. Step back, downward facing dog. Stretching side body long. Reaching the sitting bones back, feet back to hip distance. Recall the energy of mountain pose down through the feet, through the legs. Plug the heads of the arm bones back in their sockets so you're not hanging in the joint. A breath in. And then a breath out. Gaze forward, step forward. Breathing in, standing tall. And breathing out, root down. Take another inhale. And an exhale. We'll come into a triangle pose, bringing the block onto its high setting. I like sideways. And then from here, we'll keep the right foot centered, bend into the right knee, and then open to the side, aligning the front heel, the right heel, with the highest part of the back arch. And if you need to, you can bring the chair closer to you so the block is in easier reach. All right, so we're going to start here. Reaching the left arm back, reaching right arm forward. Notice if it feels like that left hip wants to really pop up. Soften the knees. And then inhale, reach forward. It's okay for that back hip, that left hip to drop forward. Find the block. Find a place where it gives you the sense of groundedness and rootedness, reaching straight up or maybe coming into that extended shape. If it feels better, you can drop the block down. You can go without the block. You can go straight up. This is more of a traditional triangle pose. You can send the hips a bit more forward, heart a bit more back. You can go to more of an extended shape. And then coming triceps toward temple. And to come up, we're going to soften through the knees, press the palm away, come up through a 5-pointed star. Gaze over the shoulder. We'll bend into the front knee, scooch the chair forward if you need to, and we'll pivot into a lunge. So lift the left heel, pivot the left toes forward, and bring the hands up or to the chair. And then for balance, we're going to transition the weight into the front foot. Front thigh presses down, knee stays over ankle. Float into a little warrior 3. Coming down as much as you'd like. Maybe torso in line with the ground. Maybe you float the hands, lifting the back inner thigh so that the kneecap is pointing down. And then inhale, rise up, and exhale to your chair pose, or to mountain pose. Take a breath in and a breath out. And I'm just going to switch direction so you don't have to look at my backside. All right, so let's go to the other side. So we can even from here get in a little bit of a different way. So block on its highest setting, left toes facing forward. And let's take a big step back, coming into a lunge, and then open into warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, turning it into triangle legs. So front leg straight, dial the back toes a little bit forward. And again, it's heel, front heel to back inner arch alignment, usually about right. Legs are straight, but not locked. And then you might adjust where the chair is, either closer or further away, block high, block low, really yogi's choice. And so we'll reach back with that right hand and imagine you're sending it straight back. Other hand straight forward, energize through the arms, relax the shoulders, and then reach forward, allow the right hip to drop a bit forward. So it's almost chest forward, bum back, finding the block. And then once you find the block and can root down, reach that right arm straight up. And then from here, bring the torso into the back plane. So sending the hips forward, heart back, so that you're all kind of in alignment. And then option to go more extended or go straight up. You can drop down even more. And again, we're anchoring through the feet. A little bit of extra energy through the back edge of the back foot. Maybe dropping down. And then to come up, we're going to turn that right palm to face the sky. Engage the side body, anchor through the feet. Come into 5-pointed star. Turn it into your warrior 2, bending into the front knee. Drop the back hip down if it's kind of lifted up. And then begin to pivot. Lift the back toes, lift the back heel. Pivot forward. Maybe hands come to chair. Maybe reach up. High crescent lunge. Back leg has a little bend in it, so we're not jamming that hip bone, that thigh bone forward. And then we'll come into our warrior 3. So strong through the front leg. Shift your weight. Float the back. Maybe arms reach forward. Maybe hand to chair. Maybe hand to the seat of the chair. And then once you're there, toes dial down, waistline draws up. Maybe you float. You can reach. You can stay lifted here. Toes on the ground. Find your balance. And then inhale, rise up, and exhale, reset for mountain. Nicely done. Let's take 3 breaths in mountain. And then find your strap. Have your bolster handy. For this one, instead of blocks, we're going to use the bolster. It'll just be a little bit easier. We're going to go a little bit wide with the legs. And for our strap, bring the strap into your right hand, palm facing up, and then begin to bend the elbow. Place the strap behind you and bend the elbow. Bring the middle finger right to the center of the head, and then reach left arm forward, and then externally rotate the hand. Find the strap back there. And then draw the low ribs down. And then if you'd like, inch the bottom hand closer to the top hand, bringing the elbow closer into the side. Listen to your shoulder here. And from here, we'll challenge the balance just a little bit, coming into a side bend. So ever so slightly, rock over to your left, stretching the right side body. If you'd like, turn the head up toward the right, just a little bit, like you're turning your face to the sun. And then inhale, come back out, and exhale, release. Let's switch sides. So strap in the left hand, bringing the tail behind you where you can reach it, bend the elbow, and I just like middle finger at the midline. And the elbow can start wide, it can start close in, it can start straight up, it can start down more toward the thoracic spine, it can begin up in the head, and then left, right hand, and then internally rotate, and then it turns into kind of an external rotation, but don't worry about rotation. And then draw the low ribs down. Allow this top hand to glide down toward the spine, toward gravity, as the bottom hand creeps up a little bit. Find your breath. And then your side stretch. Keeping the left sitting bone grounded, left hip grounded. Breathing into the side body. Feel your balance here. Maybe turn the head a little bit to the left. Lift the chin a little bit to the left. Notice how that changes things. And then gently come back through center and release. And from here, we'll scooch the bolster out a little bit. I'm just going to scoot my whole setup back so I stay in the frame. You can also, might actually be good to send it lengthwise. And then we'll extend through the right leg and we'll strap up the left foot, turning the knee out. And you can start sitting up tall, nice strong foundation, strapping up the left foot, allow the left knee to open, and then begin to glide the foot up. Keep this nice and heavy. You can use left hand. And glide it up any amount. If you have more space in the hip, you can begin to bend into the right knee. And at that point, you probably don't need the strap very much if you're here. But if you're here, the strap can be helpful so that you still get that rotation, this external rotation, and this opening to the side as well. Option from here to come into a forward fold. So you might root down through that leg, come into a forward fold. If it feels like you're putting too much pressure down onto the knee, you want to glide the foot further down. If it's not giving you extra benefit for the hip, usually when you come into a forward fold here, you get into the hip. A little nod of the chin, feel that lengthening through the spine. And then come back up and switch sides, rock the leg side to side. Left foot right in front of left hip. Strap up the right foot. So the heel points out, knees dropping to the outside. And just start gently, drawing up a little baby bend in the supporting leg. And you can come here, but when your foot is right on top of the knee joint, it has a tendency to really press down. So you might bring the foot further underneath you. And again, at that point, you might not need the strap. A little forward fold if you'd like. A little nod of the chin, feel the length in the spine. And then we'll come up, let that go. We'll use the bolster sideways right beneath the chair for a lunge. So we'll start legs still wide here. Then we'll pivot, turning toward the right, dropping the left shin. And you might stay here. You might shift more forward or drop the back leg further back. It can feel nice to drop over the front leg. It can feel nice to come into a side stretch. Little exploration here. You can bring the weight more heavily into this leg. You can bring the knee further under the hip or extend it back. And just play with what feels good here. Make sure you're breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths of exploration. And then root down, rise up, and we'll simply pivot. So we'll come back through this wide leg stance, rotate, dropping the right knee down, lifting the right heel up, turning into this lunge. And then adjusting your lunge, you can extend the leg further back. You can bring more weight into that leg. You can bring less weight into the leg. Torso might angle forward, might tuck under. Just listen to the signals in your body. You can reach up, reach over. Just playing, exploring sensation. What's different on this side from the other side? One or 2 more breaths. And then hand to hip. And we'll swivel out the same way we came in. So lifting the back knee, pivoting on the sitting bones. And then for final relaxation, we can just sit the feet right on the bolster, lean back into the chair. If you'd like a little heart opener over the chair, you can make a little rounded mound for the mid back. And that can just allow you to open up through the heart. And again, tuning into the balance of your body, being connected to the earth through gravity, through awareness, through presence. This energetic cord we can send down to the center of the earth. Take a few more breaths here or stay here as long as you'd like. And then once again, stack the hands. Visualize the earth, your house on the earth, the room you're in, the floor you're on, the chair, your feet on the ground, the foundation of the body supported, your back supported, your hands resting on your legs, one hand resting on the other. Take 2 or 3 breaths. And breathing in, sweep the hands out and up, opening the eyes. Exhale, hands to heart center. And the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, yogis.